So just fair warning, if I sound different in about an episode or two, it's because I am trying to work with a new thing that was graciously given to me by someone. So, a Zal Fatalist random item stats, which is going to be interesting. But also in episode 150, yes, we're going to rotate I forgot what it's called. I'm sorry, Haspin. The pack of mysteries. The mini mysteries, basically. But as we play this character one more time, because we finally have a more normalized run, yeah, let's see what happens. So, I could just make a cut here and try to remember, but Fatalist and I think it was Azal. So, yeah, okay. I think I remember, and if not, well, someone can yell at me. But as we get into this Azal Fatalist random item stats run, hey, it's finally not an Eldritch Parasite run. And yes, on episode 150, we'll be cycling through mysteries again. I'll keep some of the ones that were made by other creators, but basically all the mini mysteries will be rotated. Strength, Charisma, Knowledge, second mystery, Takshisan, and maybe a second encounter check, but we'll see. And there's other stuff I have to think about, but I'm now finally back on my thing because I've had some time to think and research and test out some things, and I think I know what I'm gonna do, but I guess we'll see what actually happens. It's always gonna come down to something like that, but as we take our pretty much mystery here. That sounds like Ward. Please don't tell me that's Ward. Well, no weapon and no hospital pass, so just gonna hope to survive. So we're just going to venture proudly forward and see what happens. But otherwise, as it pertains to things that I'm doing to help myself, you gotta do more. It's never gonna really stop for me, at least for the next month or two at minimum, but we'll see what actually happens, because I'm gonna forget to do some things, and that's why I'm looking over at my notes, seeing what I have to do for certain. It's kind of a priority system. If we're to kind of paraphrase things like cleaning the house, taking care of things around me, wondering whether or not I need to do some things to help myself food-wise or otherwise or money-wise, you get the point. But other than that, as it relates more closely to this channel, I'm gonna try to do more videos again. Again, the past 48, 72 hours have been a bit odd for me, so nothing serious. The serious things, well, have not passed yet, but as we get an ally here, and you know what, we're actually gonna take these two spells immediately. That doesn't help much, but we're just gonna run from this boss anyway, but yeah, getting everything in order is what I'm trying to say. And as it relates to game development really quickly, yeah, it's going to be a thing. Oh, by the way, yeah, we can't take this. What's my Azal rule again? It is each injury, one doom. And yes, again, just to say at least one more time, Pantstaz is kind of ghost posting in the Discord server. So if you're not part of the Discord server, you should probably get in tune with the Discord server to see what's coming up. In particular pictures, we see pictures of the next update, and that much I will. If you want to talk about defending people, I will defend Pantstaz in that whenever Pantstaz releases kind of preview pictures, they are pretty much things that are going to appear. Now, whether or not they appear earlier or later is a different question, but when assets are made, assets are made. That's the least of what I can say. Into Labyrinth we go, 2 for each item in inventory, and the knowledge decrease, no, +1 doom when investigating. Anywho, off we go. But as it relates to me, and part of what I'm doing, again, if I sound different in a future video, it also relates to game dev stuff, because I am trying to get a thing done. We'll take Iwa, by the way. And give me the army knife, please? No? Alright, I was about to say, ooh, 6 funds, we need to sell something. Hopefully this energy drink sells for 1 fund. Nope, it does not. So I didn't even want to throw that away. But it's too late now. So we really want that army knife. It's a good army knife. We take a lot of doom for it, but it's a good army knife. So, hey, we'll check the history club really quickly. Nope, no gruesome totem, just pain. Moving, off we go. Moving on, we're off we go. But as I do this forest investigation here, yeah, I'm looking at something over to the side, and I'm wondering if it's going to work. On top of silly dogs that I see being silly dogs at times, which were a very small portion of what I had to take care of in the past 72 hours. Again, nothing serious, it's just when dogs are being naughty, they're being naughty. So, and it's kind of odd that I actually wanted to do something different because obviously training dogs I think is one of the better parts of having dogs as a pet. But at this point, I think I've just basically when I want to show the dogs that I'm not happy with what they've done, I stomp my feet while walking. That's kind of my sign for the to them. And I change my tone, so I speak in a strict tone. I go, hey! I say things like that, and they immediately go their ears go at attention. And if you don't know what that means, if you've never raised a dog or seen a dog or closely studied a dog, essentially their ears kind of perk. And obviously they go down when they're sad, but they perk up when they are at attention thinking about something, or when something happens. Also, I forgot to level up here, so this is going to be a very painful encounter. We can throw out an attack. Whether or not we'll hit this attack is a different story. Let me take a sip of water, please. This is not a stream-like video. I really should just be cutting this, but drinking. So yes, but many things that I'm dealing with, obviously game dev is a big one. Also, writing is another big one. And if nothing else, writing, that helps me out in game development. Oh my goodness, 70% is not 70%. But specifically, if you didn't see the last episode, essentially it comes down to how to write characters not well, but in a way that is satisfactory to what medium you're making. By goodness, we took a lot of all damage here, but at least it perfectly fit into my Desperate Prep Strong, which actually does a lot more damage, but we still needed the extra 6 damage, so shrug. Also, we took 2 Doom because of the handcuffs. Didn't want that, but I forgot to store the handcuffs. But let's level up now. Nothing great for me. You know what? Just in case we went into a luck check. I forgot if that takes effect during the elevator event. I've forgotten a lot of things, and I know I've said this before, but hey. Also, Iwa helping us out, because without Iwa, we would not have been able to brace there properly. But as we enter Botanist here, yeah, we have funds. We're probably not... We don't have the Doom to spare to go anywhere, really. In my opinion. Could just walk forward and be fine, but I think we're just going to walk forward and hope, cross our fingers. That hasn't worked out a majority of the time, but maybe gambler's fallacy. Maybe this time it'll work out, just moving forward. Now, keeping in mind, I need to toss all my funds away except for 1, and then I need to store these handcuffs. We're probably not going to... I don't think there's... Is there a human enemy in the forest? My goodness. Someone who has hundreds of hours on Roll of Horror, by the way. But pretty sure there's not, and if there is, it's like 1, maybe 2. But I think it's just 1 if I had to really put my chips down. But as we get panicked there, yeah, we definitely want to prep strong. Or prep attack. If we even get to survive. Which we do, but... can we do this? We can. Will we hit both of these is the question. We need to hit at least one of these to hope to have good things happen. But otherwise, hitting both would be would be preferred. So funny enough, while we have a lot of reason... This is reason... we have more reason than stamina. We need to be very careful about taking stamina damage, as in that last event, where if you fail it, you fail the left side and charisma check, you take stamina damage. That much I can remember, but this, on the other hand, yeah, we just have to gamble here. I could run, but we don't really have a lot of time to run, so another coin flip we go. It's pretty much 66% or 60%, but you get the point here. Anywho. Yeah, I was like, wasn't I on encounter lockout? The answer was no. We'll take knowledge here, funny enough, and we'll heal stamina because we need it. And our Doom is looking mighty high, but not much I can do there. Yeah, so that's 5 Doom decrease. I remember that from the previous recent episode. And off we go. Again, I'm really focusing here. I could talk about other things, but I need to focus on not dying. Even though my Doom is very high. Also, yes, we need to toss one of these funds away. We need to make sure we have no injury or no items in our inventory. And off we go. So, we're going to take extra Doom here anyway, because Botanist ending D. Ending D? Ending D. But it's not like I'm going to be able to protect Shiro-san anyway. Shiro-san? Question mark? Oh my goodness. Hey. Windows did a thing. I don't think you hear it because on my World of Horror videos, I do have a filter on for audio stuff. Also, we got 3 funds. That happens before... Wait a second. That happens before Azal. Okay, so if nothing else to take away from this video, I didn't know that happens, but... So signed contract here, for those who don't know, gives you 2 funds specifically at the end of a mystery. But that happens before Azal penalizes you. So since I have the fund rule, I had 1 fund, got 2 funds, now have 3. 3 times 2 is 6, and then Azal penalizes me with 6 Doom, which makes me really... So basically, I'm guaranteed to take at least 4 Doom every mystery because I have signed contract. I didn't know that happened, but now I do. This is why, at least in terms of game design, game dev stuff, the priority is important. Obviously, it doesn't need to be that way. I just realized I was supposed to take a... No, I did take the base mystery. Again, moving on. We can avoid Shibas, but yeah, priority things, if you want to make it harder, this is how you make it harder. If you wanted to make things easier for the player, you would penalize the player before the effective signed contract. So, but basically what that tells me is that perks happen before mystery effects. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's actually designed in a way that specific things happen in a specific order, which would certainly be a bit odd in terms of, you know, not having a consistent rule. So the rule in this case being perks take effect before god effects take effect, or I said mystery, god effects take effect, but at the same time, I mean, it could just be very specific, like, say, this, and this perk happens in, say, the first lines of code above, and then god effects happen, but except for Katax, and then Katax is way at the bottom after another set of perks. So basically, perk effects, god effects, perk effects, god effects. If I were to kind of try and explain this for those who don't know as much programming or coding or game design stuff, which you can do, there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but in terms of like coding language and coding practice, probably a lot more frowned down upon. Also, a bunch of fun... Wait, was that because of the experience roll, by the way? It was. So there's nothing we can do here. We just take this in the face, and hey, we reached the 5th mystery. Would have like... Oh, and then we get time skipped on top, so like we're extra doomed here, but I gave it all I had. You know, funny enough, on the Eldritch Parasite runs, those were a lot better. And if you haven't seen the end of those, then I invite you to go see them. Otherwise, what was our last base mystery, if anything else? And then Curse, but Scissors, well, yeah, we just took a lot of Doom. Now, that being said, just before we end the video here, I did spend about 9 Doom, but that really pretty much didn't matter, because, yeah, with the experience roll and we weren't able to level up on top of the guaranteed 4 funds, yeah, we could have taken like 4% less Doom, but even with that, I'm pretty sure I would have lost here, because while we get to level up, we probably would have taken like an extra 3% Doom, because we get like 30 experience. Maybe. Actually, less than that. Let's be really lenient and say we only take 4 Doom. That probably, with that time skip that just hit us because of the town mystery, I'm pretty sure we would have lost. Like 95% of the time we would have lost this run. But, I mean, there are things I could have done in the middle of the run to avoid this, but as we entered, this is the end of the video, nothing much else more to say.